I'm downtown Des Moines during lunch hour. I'm going to go inside and grab people and see what questions they have for you, Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe, I'm here with Scott and Emily. And Emily sees a chiropractor, and Scott does not. So I'm going to start with Scott and see what questions you have for Dr. Joe, or why don't you go to a chiropractor?
You know, I've just always used a regular medical doctor, and so really never made any decision to see a chiropractor.
Is there a reason behind just the choice that you made?
No, not really. No, I don't really have any positive or negative. I'm very neutral on this subject.
Dr. Joe, do you have a comment on what Scott said?
I do, actually. I just wanted to give him kudos for keeping an open mind. Whether it's chiropractic or anything else, it's always best to keep an open mind.
All right, now I have a question for you. Do your kids see a chiropractor?
They do.
Well, I think one big question I have as a mom, and maybe you do too, kids are always lugging backpacks around. And Dr. Joe, I'm just wondering, how heavy should a backpack be, even with ladies too, and carrying purses and stuff? Do you think that that's a great question?
I think that's a great question, yes.
You know, when it comes to backpacks, my personal preference is to take those instruments of childhood spinal torture and get rid of them permanently. That's just not a good idea. If you take a look at people in an industry where they have to carry things around a lot, like in the airline industry, you see them use bags with wheels. So I'm definitely a proponent for giving your kids book bags with wheels. But the actual answer, again, hedging a little bit, would depend upon the size of the child, the size of the backpack and the weight of the backpack, the distance and the length of time. So clearly, a small, young child with a heavy backpack over a long distance can cause some serious damage, whereas a big strapping 17-year-old football player carrying a light backpack would do no harm at all.
How about purses?
Purses are really the same thing. Keep them as small as you possibly can and switch shoulders frequently, so don't always use the same side.
So I need to take out all my change and the water bottles and all the books
Exactly.
and the little toys.
Yep, keep them in the trunk of your car or something.
Sounds good. We've got another question for you, Dr. Joe.
Well, I was wondering, I have a lower back pain from doing lots of PT and physical exercises in the muscles. I was just wondering if you chiropractors could somehow loosen it up, make it feel better.
And by the way, thank you, Corporal, for your service to our great country. Physical activity, strenuous physical activity and chiropractic treatment go hand in hand. I would urge you, Corporal, to seek out a chiropractor now. And some bases in our military in the U.S. now have access for enlisted people to chiropractic. But if you can't find someone, then you come and see me and I'll take care of you, Corporal.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Joe. I hope you got some of your questions answered. Now, if you have any more questions, you can stop in the Ferezy Clinic in Windsor Heights or check out Dr. Joe at theferezyclinic.com.